Okay, so the last thing we need to be able to do is to find interior angles in a regular polygon. So in our first example, we've got a regular octagon which has 8 sides, and we're asked to find the value of one of the interior angles. Now there are 2 strategies for this. I'll go through both. The first of which is to find out what all of the interior angles add up to using our formula from the last video, and then divide that by the number of angles we've got. So let's see what that looks like. So we've got a regular octagon, which means we've got 8 sides. And so if we're working out the sum, that means that n is equal to 8, which means that the sum is equal to 180 times by 8, take away 2. And we've swapped the n for the 8 there. So that gives me 180 times by 6, which is equal to 1080 degrees. So all 8 of these angles have to add up to 1080 degrees. So to work out what one of the angles is, because they're all the same, we can just divide it by the number of angles, which is 8. So one angle is 1080 divided by 8. Now the easiest way to divide by 8 is to half it 3 times. So half that once, you get 540. Half it a second time, you get 270. Half it a third time, you get 135 degrees. So our final answer here is x is equal to 135. Okay, but I did say this is only one of the possible methods. So we will have a look now at the second possible method, which might be slightly easier. Okay, so the second method we can use to look at this is to think about exterior angles as well. So I've left the answer we got from before I'll put here, so at the end we can check to make sure we've got it right. So what we'll do is, if we're interested in an interior angle and our polygon is regular, then we can quite easily work out the value of one of our exterior angles. So if you remember from the video on exterior angles, we know that exterior angles sum to, can you remember? Absolutely right, they sum to 360 degrees. Okay, in every polygon, the exterior angles sum to 360 degrees, which means that our blue angle here, well, because they're all the same, I just need to divide by 8. So I'm going to do 360 divided by 8. And again, the easiest way to do that is to half it 3 times. So half of 360 is 180, half of that is 90, half of that is 45 degrees. Okay, so I know that this angle here is 45 degrees. Now, because of how an exterior angle is made, we have a straight line here, which means that this angle and this angle must add up to 180, correct? So to work out what x is, we do 180, we take away the 45, and that's going to give us our value of x, which is 135 degrees, which gives us the same answer as before, x is 135. So we've looked at 2 methods there. The one you choose is just going to be based on personal preference. It's entirely up to you. As long as you're getting the correct answer, it doesn't really matter which method you're looking at. Okay, so in our second example, we're going to follow the same steps as the previous example. I'm going to work through this one using our exterior angles, so using the second method that we've just looked at. Follow along at home with this one that you do. Again, it's a slightly different number of sides, so you need to be careful of that. And you can feel free to pause the video at any time if you need a bit of time to catch up with what I'm doing on my half of the board. Okay, so regular decagon, first thing we need to do is that tells us that we have 10 sides. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to extend this angle to make ourselves a little exterior angle there, and we're going to work out what one of the exterior angles has to be. So remember, all the exterior angles add up to 360. So I'm going to do 360 divided by 10, which gives me 36 degrees. So that angle there is 36 degrees. Now, we can also recall that angles on a straight line add up to 180. So to work out x's, I do 180, take away 36, and that gives us an answer of 144 degrees. Okay, so now's a good chance to pause the video if you've not quite managed to finish the UD, the nonagon, because I'll go through that in a few seconds. Okay, so hopefully you've had a chance to finish the nonagon. So the first thing we did was we worked out the number of sides. So a nonagon, unusual shape this one. It's not quite as common then as the decagon, but a nonagon has 9 sides. So again, we're going to extend our line to make an exterior angle, and we need to work out what that is. Now all exterior angles in any polygons add up to 360, so that bit's exactly the same. So we're going to do 360 divided by 9 this time, and that gives us 40 degrees. So I know that this angle here is 40. So then angles on a straight line are 180. So to work out what this is, we do 180, we take away the 40, and that gives us an answer of 140 degrees. Well done if you managed to get that right at home. Okay, so in our last example, we're doing a little bit of problem solving. So we're given a regular pentagon. Sorry, I should have identified that was regular. We're given a regular pentagon, and we are asked to find the value of x here. Now, if you want to give this a go at home before I go through it, feel free, pause the video now, but I am going to be going through that now. So this one feels quite a hard question because it's not necessarily immediately obvious what you need to do. So with angles questions, quite often we just need to think, ignore the x, we need to think what things can we work out. Well, we have just looked at how we work out the interior angles in a regular shape. So we can work out an interior angle there, and that's actually probably quite a good place to start. So let's have a look at working out what that blue angle is there first of all. Now, if you remember our strategy from last time, we needed to extend this line and work out what one of the exterior angles is to work out what one of the interior angles are. So we've got 5 sides. So remember, exterior angles add up to, let's use a different colour, let's use green. So exterior angles add up to 360. So I'm going to do 360 divided by the number of sides, which is 5, and that's going to give us a value for this green angle here, which is 72 degrees. Okay, now to work out this blue angle, I need to do 180. I need to take away my 72, and that's going to give me the value of this blue angle, which is 108 degrees. So I know that this is 108 degrees. And similarly, because all the interior angles are the same, because it's regular, I know that this is 108 degrees. Going through this one, by the way, if at any point you think you know how to finish the question off, again, please feel free to pause and have a go and then check to see if you're correct. Okay, so we've worked out what this angle is, we've worked out what this angle is. There's a few different ways we could go from here. I am going to take the route of working out what this angle is here. Okay, now that angle and that angle are the same because here we have an isosceles triangle. Okay, so that was to work out the blue angle here. that was to work out the green angle. Now we're going to work out this purple angle. Okay, so angles in a triangle have to add up to 180 degrees. So this purple angle and this purple angle, when I add it to 108, need to make 180. So we use a similar strategy as we've used before. We add up, we find the side we know, we take it away from the sum, 180 minus 108. Well, we know that's 72, we just came from there. But then, because these purple angles are the same, and they both add up to 72, what I can do is, I can half that 72, and that'll tell me what one of my purple angle is. So 72 divided by 2 is equal to 36 degrees. So remember, this angle here is 36 degrees. Because this pentagon is symmetrical, it's regular, I also know that this angle here is 36 degrees. Okay, we are really, really close now, because we also know what this large angle here is. Anyone tell me what that angle, does anyone know what that angle there is? Absolutely correct. It's 108 degrees. That's a whole interior angle again. So the red angle plus the two purple angles have to be equal to 108 degrees. Okay, so let's work that out. So my red angle, x, is equal to my blue angle, 108, take away my two purple angles. Now I've got a 36 and a 36. So I'm going to take away a 36 and I'm going to take away another 36. Now 108 take away 36, that gives me 72, sorry. So that equals 72, take away another 36 is equal to, well, 72 take away 30 is 42, take away the 6 is 36. So x is equal to 36 degrees. It's quite a hard question, lots of things we've got to chip away at, but actually absolutely nothing that we've not looked at before, absolutely nothing that I don't think you can do.